Oh my goodness. Oof. Help me. So I guess that didn't work out the way I anticipated. Okay, everybody. As you can see, my internet is moving extremely slow. Let me just get everybody back up there and we can go ahead and get
Oh, that's okay.
started.
I thought it was me.
Okay, I am missing Dr. Sylvia. I got Jacqueline O'Keefer. Okay. All right, let's make sure we're all up. How's everybody doing on this Sunday afternoon? Am I still missing somebody?
Am
Nope,
I
there we go.
there?
Yep. All right, we all got to
Okay.
check in. Miss Fucina, I see you. Dr. Sylvia. We have Jacqueline and we have Keever. Everybody see themselves? Okay. All right, everybody. Yeah, thank you all for bearing with me. This has been I've had some internet issues and I've actually had to increase my internet speed and I see it still didn't quite work out the way I wanted, but hey, this is tech issues. We are here and we have an awesome show for you today. So, my name is Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and you have joined us for a Queens Roundtable show, and we do it every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, for this evening or for this afternoon, we're going to be talking to you about visibility and the importance of visibility in your business. So, we're going to be sharing different tools and techniques with you about how to be more visible and the positive impact that being more visible will have on your business. And if we can do it, you can do it as well. Please let us know, check in, let us know you are here with us. We want to hear your questions and any concerns or just a shout out that you may have. If I see that you are with us, I will definitely make sure that we answer whatever questions or comments you may have. And thank you for those that will catch the replay as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. Ladies, go, Miss Fucina, we can start with you. Let us know who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. It's a blessing to be among you and among other beautiful women. My name is Fatina Kirkendall, and I'm from Duluth, Georgia. I am the CEO of Chronicles of a Favorite Woman. It started off as a testimony, to be honest, being a survivor of childhood sexual molestation. It was one of those situations where I suffered in silence. And I got to a point in my life, I've always been an advocate in the world of nonprofit for many years, and I always advocate for children and men and women. And I got to a point where I had to do something with that secret. And I decided that it was came to a time in my life where I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I had to speak up, speak out, and encourage others to do the same. And that's where Chronicles was formed. I do a blog talk radio show. In fact, I do it on Sundays at 9:30 on Blog Talk Radio. So I invite, I just, I'm always open, but that's what I'm here to do, to advocate, to help and motivate people and encourage others to use the power of their voice.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, Dr. Sylvia.
Yes, well, good afternoon, everyone. Let me just take a moment just to thank you for this amazing opportunity to be with these other dynamic powerhouses on this evening as well, and of course, to empower the listening and viewing audience as well. I'm Dr. Sylvia Cole. I am the CEO of Call to Inspire. It's a name that God gave me at 5 o'clock early one morning on the same day that I was actually offered my first radio show. And I'm also a book writing coach and master life coach. I help first time authors, and I also work with men and women, helping them to find their purpose as well as implement principles for next level success. I also travel the country speaking to middle, high school, and intermediate students about finding purpose as well. I'm also a radio host. My show is entitled Call to Inspire with Dr. Sylvia, and it airs every Tuesday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time on the legendary KYOK, which is based in Houston, Texas. And I'm also a TV host as well on the Daily Gospel Network, and that show airs every Tuesday morning at 2 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time.
Wait a minute. You said 2 a.m.?
Yes, 2 a.m. in the morning, Tuesday morning, Central Standard Time, yes.
Wow, okay. All right, well, thank you for being here with us today. I'm super excited to have you here. All right, so if
Thank
we
you.
could move to Ms. Keever.
Thank you, first of all, Ms. Jacqueline, for having me. It's an honor to be here with you, as well as these strong, beautiful Black women. My name is Reverend Kiva Lernice Murdaugh. I am what you would call a serial entrepreneur. I have several businesses. I'm a life coach, and my focus is on mindset, trauma, and making sure that our young professionals understand how to maneuver the industry of professionalism as far as soft skills training, leadership development, and overcoming traumatic experiences as well. I'm a victim of sexual assault as a young child, and it's very important for me that people understand that you are not your circumstances, and despite what you go through, you can still overcome, and you can power through, and you can persevere. So that's my passion, is making sure to get that message out. I own a brick and mortar boutique where I bring in other entrepreneurs and small business owners to have a platform where they can also provide services to the local community by having a space in my store for their product-based businesses. And I also have a podcast and a TV show as well called Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdaugh Show and Podcast. And it's really important for me to use that platform to serve. And I do that by bringing other entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, authors onto my show so that they can get their message out to the masses. And I'm also a proud owner of Kayla Niece Naturals, which is an all natural hair care company. So if you are a natural queen or king, and if you're looking for good, wholesome, quality natural hair products, definitely look us up. You can find me on all social media at Kiva Lernice Murdaugh. That's Facebook and Instagram. You can also find me at Linktree at Kiva Murdaugh.
I didn't know about the hair care products. All right, that's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'm actually going to be sister locking soon.
Yes, I'm kind of on the fence about locking.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, good. Yep, excited all of you, agreed to come on the show. This is so awesome. All right, Miss Jacqueline.
Hi, everybody. I am B. Jacqueline Jeter, and I'm located in Wake Forest, North Carolina, which is kind of a suburb, so to speak, of Raleigh. And I am a native North Carolinian, which is kind of rare in these days. I am the founder of Grow, Lead, and Prosper. I'm a transformational growth strategist and leadership coach, and I'm very passionate about growth. I think it was Miles Monroe who said that the most valuable place on the earth is in the cemetery, because we never really fully reach our full potential. So I'm very focused on equipping women in their 40s or older to annihilate those limited mindsets and those skills that have things that have kept them from actually reaching their brilliance and getting to that point where they really truly are living to their fullest and dying empty. I also am work with corporate teams to take their teams from mediocre to high performing teams, and so they are crushing their goals and whatnot. And it all again starts with mindset. I'm also very passionate about mindset. I call myself a mindset recalibrator. I believe that mindset is what colors our whole entire world, and that it's something that actually can be generational. So if we don't deal with mindset and the root of it, then nothing in our lives will actually truly prosper. I also work with youth in the STEM space. I'm a career scientist by trade, so to speak, and I'm very passionate about science and seeing youth reach that potential As a kid, I guess you could say I was bullied a lot. And I remember my dad telling me they may bully you today, but they'll work for you tomorrow. So I want to help those kids that are staying in that shell because they're being bullied or they're being oppressed, repressed, and depressed from really expressing their brilliance to break out of that and to walk fully and powerfully in it.
Wow. That I'm trying to, if you all see me pausing, it's a little bit of a delay. So I want to make sure I'm not talking over ladies. So Jacqueline, just, you know what, and I don't hear that often in terms of being bullied, but I was bullied too in middle school. It was middle school. And it taught me a lot of things, and it really helped to strengthen my character. So, you know, I just want to say that because I don't think I've ever heard anybody mention that about being bullied. But thank you all so much again for being on the show, and you know, just for bringing your expertise. So visibility. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of visibility in your business?
I'll start. For me, visibility, when I think about visibility, I think about it being more than just posting something, because we already know the Facebook algorithm is kind of onto that, and you have to kind of navigate that. But when I think about visibility, is really being seen, but how are you being seen? Is it strategic or intentional, and is it consistent? So those are key things when I think about visibility.
You know, absolutely. And to add to that, you know, when I think about visibility, I also think about, of course, definitely being seen, but I always think about that if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. Also, it's also important, you know, when you post and what you post as well when you talk about visibility. And for me, it also means being not just on social media, but also about being in the community as well.
Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to add to that as well. For me, it's definitely exposure. You have to position your business, yourself, to where you are getting not only exposure, but like Jacqueline was saying earlier, you want to make sure that it is strategic and that it is going to build your business and not just playing around, you know, because at the end of the day, we are here, we want to be profitable, and we want to make sure that we are putting our business in the best light possible.
Mm-hmm. And then, right, on another note, just to piggyback off of what you just said, when you talk about making sure the exposure, it also speaks to visibility. To me, it's also important that you're consistent in terms of what you do to make yourself visible as well.
Well, the only thing I'm going to add to that, because I was going to say consistency, because consistency is the key to breakthrough. But you know, it's really about, we can put ourselves out there, but word of mouth, people not buying into your product but buying into you, is visibility to me. Because once you make that impression with someone, they're going to be more keen to knowing more about you. And when they learn more about you and they understand your vision, they're going to be the best promotion and person to make you visible, because they're going to say it to someone else, and they're going to say it to someone else, and they're going to recommend it to someone else. And the word of mouth just makes it awesome. And as long as you walk the walk and talk the talk, you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then, of course, and then it speaks, you know, it gives you, as the young lady just said, gives you the, you know, credibility as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it has to be, visibility has to be authentic. It can't be something that, you know, oh, I saw this person post this, so I want to post this.
Right.
It's not about likes. It's not about that. It's about the engagement. And so you may be asking this question later, so I'll stop talking.
No, you're fine. I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, you know, I'm sure that we've all had, you know, some business coaching, and I know that I've always been told about being visible, right? But like I think we're all in agreement that it has to be intentional, and it has to be intentional, and it has to be purposeful. You know, like you don't want to just, you're not just putting just anything out there, you know, because you're building a brand, like you are the brand, you know. And in order for people, well, first of all, people have to see you. You know, you can't be like the best kept secret, right? You know, to the point where no one knows you, no one knows what you offer, you know, so you have to be visible. and people have to know what your area of expertise is. You know, you know what I mean? People have to know what your area of expertise is, like what you offer. And then when you're visible, that gives them an opportunity to get to know the person behind the brand, if you will. You know,
Yes.
because I know when I initially started out, I did a lot of posting, you know, and something that was told to me that like for example, what I would do is, since my business was originally started, and when I say originally, it's still the main focus is empowering African American women. So a lot of times when I first started out, I would post, but I would post inspirational things, but it might be something by maybe Maya Angelou or Oprah Winfrey or, you know, whomever, you know. And it was told to me that it needs to come from me, you know, because that gives people an idea of, you know, more of what I'm about, you know. So that was one of the first things that I learned, that you know, it's good to post inspirational quotes. Like I'm a real big Wayne Dyer fan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wayne Dyer, but I would post a lot of his you know, quotes. And so that was a shift for me in the beginning, you know, moving towards like, what do I feel, or what are some of the things that I say to myself on a regular basis, you know. So I kind of moved from posting other people's thoughts to posting my own, and then I transitioned into doing more videos, more lives, you know, because you get a lot from when you read what people post, but you also your audience gets an opportunity to get to know a little more about you when you come live, you know, because everything is about body language. And I'm learning a lot of this too. You know, so I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I'm learning as I go. And these are just some of the different things that I've learned in terms of being visible, you know, how you show up, when you show up, you know, and you'll find that people are drawn to you for you. You know, so I mean, that's what I found. So I'd be interested to know, like, have you guys received any like coaching in that area, and like what were some of the different tools and techniques that were shared with you in terms of how to show up, and you know, how to be consistent with it, and how to really build your brand.
I've received coaching in that, and it's been part of another program, but she gave us the 5 E's, and I'm going to try to remember them, but she was talking about being engaging. Every post you make doesn't have to be a teaching post, because people authentically want to know who you are. And we already know that people need to, like 7 to 10 touch spots before they even buy anything from you anyway. So it's important that you're being, like I said before, authentic. If I'm trying to be like Dr. Sylvia, people are going to kind of know. They're going to, that sniff test, they're going to know that. And so one of the key things, it can be engaging. It can be something that's educational. It can be something that is edifying. It can be something that is just really humorous, or it's really being able to see who you are. You don't have to always have a full face of makeup when you come online, because people want to know you in all realms. Can they trust you? Or if, you know, if I'm already, and I used to get very, very, you know, focused about that. Like, I can't go live today because I haven't done my hair, or I haven't put makeup on. And I got over that. And one of my coaches said, get over it, because they don't care what you look like. They want to know what you're talking about. So I think one of the things we have to think about is that every post, as we said before, but being strategic and making sure you have that social media or whatever type of calendar that you plan out your information and plan out your content. And just be, as we said before, strategic. So I think about that piece being authentic, strategic, intentional, and consistent, and being totally authentic. And just making sure that you're posting something that, you know, your tribe wants to hear, and just something that they get to know, something, you know, a top thing you didn't know about me, and that engages people to continue on with you.
And for me, it's really about being transparent too, you know, because people connect with real people, right? And when they feel like they know you, they can trust you, then you will really find your tribe really following you and truly engaging with you. But I mean, for me, it's about being transparent. You don't have to put all your business out there, but you just want to be in a space where people can relate to you and be honest, and be honest with yourself first, because people are not stupid, and they can read you when you are not being genuine and when you're being fake. So, it's really important to be transparent and just put yourself out there and be vulnerable, because people relate to people that they feel that is true. So.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's also about, I think it's all of you all have indicated, it speaks to developing a relationship, with your fans and followers as well. And of course, one of the ways, again, that you all have indicated that we do that is being transparent. I remember doing a post. I took a picture of me playing tennis with one of my nephews. It got so many likes and comments. It was really surprising to me what people said. Well, Dr. Sylvia, we see a lot of things about you posting that you're speaking, but you're a fun person. So I actually started doing more of that. They found that so engaging. As a result, although I've never met the majority of my fans and followers, they feel like they have a connection. They have a relationship with me. So again, it's important that we don't have to share everything, but there are moments that we can definitely be transparent in terms of what we share and post.
And I think you just hit the nail right on the head. Social media have us in this, and I hate to use the word fake living or fake world, but everything is always copacetic. Everybody's always happy. Nobody ever have a bad moment. And it's really, I feel, it's really important when people see when, today is just not a great day, and let them know that, and even in that moment, is still okay. It's okay sometimes to say, I'm not okay today. I need a little extra prayer. This is going on, that is going on, because just the facade of just living in this perfect world is just, we are literally doing our followers a disservice.
I totally agree with you.
Go ahead, Regina.
I totally agree with you all with that. You all said everything that I was going to say. We live in a society that people are living in this false reality. And when we have social media, especially Facebook, we have this false reality. And you're right, people do tune in. They want to know that we're real. And I've learned that, people who know me personally know that, I'm just really about my truth. Sometimes I'm not always peachy. Sometimes I'm not always having a good day. Sometimes I'm not, sometimes days are just awesome. You know that I'm a follower of Christ, but guess what? I'm still a person, and I'm still going to have those moments. And I've learned that people gravitate when I'm just being myself. And I would say more than anything, people are more attracted to that because it is what it is. This is my day today. It is what it is. But you know what? Even when I don't feel like I want to be motivating is when I push myself, because I push others to do. We can find something positive out of it. And you're right. People will tap into realness. Okay, you know what she's going through? I'm going through the same thing too. Let's get together. Let's band. It's about collaboration as well. They relate to it, and they're gonna buy into it.
Exactly.
It's so interesting that you guys mentioned about just being real, and a lot of times I hear this over and over again. A lot of times people don't go live because they feel like, I'm not in the best mood right now, or I'm not in a positive, mind space, or my hair doesn't look right, or I don't have, I don't know, I don't have on the right clothes, or, whatever the issue is, and, but like everyone, I think we're all pretty much saying the same thing, is that people want to know who you are, and it's not realistic that you're not going to have a bad day. There are some days I feel like, my business is going the way I want it to go. And I'm just, I'm just chilling. I'm excited. I'm motivated. And then there's some days where I'm like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Maybe I should just go ahead and wave the little flag, and just hang it up. I mean, yes, that's one extreme to the other, but the point I'm trying to make is that we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Your ideal client doesn't expect you to be perfect. Actually, when you always appear to be on top or have everything figured out, some that's whether I think that repels a lot of people. But even if it didn't, that's not realistic. It's not realistic, and that's not being authentic. And that's part of the piece about when you show up regularly, you have to be authentic, because you're not going to be able to keep up a facade forever. And I think in this whole arena of social media, because I'm sort of kind of in the middle, on the tail end of it, if you will, because I was born in the 70s, so early 70s. So for me,
same here.
Social media or Snapchat, I don't even really know what a Snapchat is, really. But you know what I mean? I'm not really, this is something that I'm learning. I've had to force myself to learn, but it's been interesting. But I have to admit, okay, I know I'm rambling, y'all. Okay, let me wheel myself back in. Okay, this is really what I wanted to say, is that I have gotten more engagement on posts like, it's just me and my son, like I'm sitting here, let's just say, here I am, on the older end, I got a 10-year-old. I know other people my age have kids in their 20s, and I got a 10-year-old, and I might be sitting here just doing a video of my son and my nephew wrestling, and me sitting here saying, like, oh my God, how did I get myself into this? Something just as simple as that. No makeup, it's not scripted, it's just an everyday Saturday evening. I've gotten more likes and comments and things of that nature on a post like that, more so than I do when it's this, special crafted post. You know what I mean? But it really just goes to show you that's people connecting. That's people saying, wow, you know what? I had my first child when I was 42. You know what I mean? Or I asked myself, what the heck am I doing? But that's when that whole authenticity piece comes in. This is just real stuff. It's not everyday, glory, because we all know being a business owner, it's a lot of ups and downs, and there is no exact blueprint. Just because this person, their claim to fame was X, Y, and Z, like we can all sit here and we each have a different path. You know what I mean? It's not all cookie cutter, but we are all showing up as our authentic selves.
Yes.
So, okay. All right. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox.
Right.
Well,
somebody else jump on out there.
I'm definitely with you. I'm a 70s baby, early 70s, 71 to be exact. And I had my second son at 40. So my son is now 10. And my oldest son is 27, and my granddaughter is 5. So I could definitely understand understand that with you. But people are more receptive when we are definitely real, because they do understand. You'll be surprised the demographic of women who have had children at the age of 40. I know tons of my classmates, to be exact. But my point is, it's relatable. And people, like I say, will buy into things that they can relate to. And that's honestly, you can't get any better than when you can just be honest with yourself and then be honest with the people. That's the society we live into. That is really the society that we are in. Because when they brought in, let me just, as a sidebar, but remember we used to watch soap operas when we were younger? I don't know about anyone, but I was one of those people that always watched soap operas. And soap opera has been replaced with reality TV. And now reality TV is now, kind of been replaced with like real time situations. So when we can sit there on social media and post our real self, our realness, people will tune into that, because when it comes to business, people, they like your product, but they're going to purchase because they believe in you.
I had to learn that, though. If If I'm being honest, I had to learn that because I have always been, I'm an introvert. I may not come across as that, but I'm really an introvert and I really enjoy spending time to myself, keeping my affairs personal and private. And I had to learn that, in order for me to be relatable, I had to share some of who Kiva is. And that was so hard for me. And speaking with other women, learned that there was some that was struggling with the exact same thing, what to share, what not to share, how much to engage and, when to pull back. It was like, there's a science behind it when you really think about it. And it was just really challenging for me because I really lived in this bubble, in this box, and I really like to keep people out of it. But then got some coaching and had to the realization that, you know what, and I think it was Fachina, and I hope I'm not pronouncing your name.
No, you got it correctly.
Earlier, that people are not, like, they will purchase your products, yes, but if they know you, if they trust you, if they can relate to you, if you come across as, somebody from their backyard, from their neighborhood, somebody that they can really buy into, that's when you will start to notice your business really growing, because people will patronize you, yeah, but they're really buying more into you versus the product itself. So once I understood that, then I started to see things moving forward. It didn't happen overnight. It is still a work in progress. It's still growing every day, but I thank God that it's growing and that it's not just sitting stagnant or regressing. So, for those people who are kind of like me, keep to yourself, mind your own business. You don't want to share too much. Sometimes you really got to put yourself out there so people can get to know who you are. And that's when you will start to see things starting to turn around. But you got to be honest. You got to be transparent. You got to be your authentic self. I can't be Dr. Sylvia. I can't be Jacqueline. I can't be none of these other beautiful, strong ladies on here. But I can be Kiva, and you got to start there.
I totally agree with that, because I think that I think that I hit the net on the head. It's not about, like we've been talking, it's not about the perfection, but as far as we're linking this to profitability, of people getting to know who you are, people will buy from you. And one of my mentors said, one-time sale is a one-time rich, so to speak. It's about, I think Fachina talked about, it's about relationship and about, maybe it was Dr. Sylvia, I can't remember. It's about relationship. And Maya Angelou, I like a lot of quotes, but Maya Angelou said, I think that people will forget what you said, they will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And people, especially in this era, especially in this pandemic era, when everybody has been visible in some way, shape, or fashion, it made me step back and think about, what is my impact and what impact am I trying to make? Because I might have some visibility from someone, but it's not the right visibility, because they maybe need to be fed. I have a call it a talk show. It's I guess a video log, kind of blog, so to speak, on Tuesday mornings called Raindrops. And God just uses everyday things to really bring about understanding of his word. And I had someone I was in the airport in Chicago and this lady kept looking at me really strange. And I thought, why is she looking at me? Maybe she thinks I'm somebody she knows. Long story short, she had caught that vlog from someone who had shared it. She did not have any friends on Facebook. We had no other links. And a friend of hers had shared it. And that friend had shared it, got it for somebody else. It was like 4 shares down the road, so to speak. And it's about the impact of, you never know who's watching or who's leaning into who you are, but your visibility is not about those people in your friends list or who are on your groups. It's about those people who are really the ripple effect of those people who are outside of that. And that lends to your visibility and your sustainability and your profitability in that space. And it helps us and that's why it's so important to be authentic. Because if she had to see me one way and then see me in another place somewhere else, she'd be like, well, who is this person? Confused people don't buy. So if they're confused, they're not going to buy from you. They got to know who you are, as Dr. Kiva, Reverend Kiva's already said, authentically and transparently.
Yes, and you know what, Jacqueline, I wanted to piggyback off of something that you said just before Reverend Kiva spoke. You spoke about being perfect. We don't have to be perfect. I think what we have to do, it's important that when you, I believe that when you do things, I believe, and when I found that when you do things with excellence, we can't control sometimes what happened. We can't control when we try to get on StreamYard, and we can't control anything from a technological standpoint. But what I think we can do is be consistent in doing things excellence. When somebody sees Reverend Kiva's brand, they say, wow, she does everything with excellence. B. Jacqueline does everything with excellence. But she does everything with excellence. I think when people see that you do things with excellence, I mean, again, you still build that relationship. Even now, I have people say, well, I don't know Dr. Sylvia personally, but when Called to Inspire is mentioned, they see that it's done with excellence and consistency. So I think, again, that is one of the two of the keys as well. And then Reverend Kiva, I also like that you said when you talked about, being not wanting to share. That was me. I came out of the womb private, been private for a long time. I had to learn that as well, in order for me to be able to relate to the fans and followers and the partners that God is placing in my life. I'm going to have to open up. I'm going to have to be transparent. They're going to have to be able to see some parts about Dr. Sylvia other than she can stand before a crowd, and speak for 1 hour without pay. They need to know, what do I do when I'm not in front of the camera? They need to know that I have pain. I deal with grief. I deal with other things just as they do as well.
And that is so, in one way, and we have to keep ourselves accountable, right? We have to find ways to hold ourselves accountable. And one of the ways that I hold myself accountable, what did I do? I launched a TV show and podcast, right? And I make sure that I'm on consistently every week, because it forces me outside of my comfort zone, and it holds me accountable. And not only that, it helps me to be that platform to bring other people on that may be the same as me. Don't like to share, don't like to talk in front of a camera, but guess what? It's what's needed to propel our businesses forward. And if we haven't learned anything from COVID-19, it's that we have to learn to pivot, and we have to make sure that we are staying relevant, and that we are moving in the direction of technology. So that is one way that I make sure that, I am going to make sure that I am going to be visible, and, not only that, bring others right along with me.
It was doing pretty good. Now it's starting to seem to lag a little bit. Okay. So visibility. Oh, okay. So I'm wanting to, I guess before we, begin to wrap up, I want to, just stress again, you don't have to be perfect, be your authentic self. And that is part of, the attraction, because people have to know who the person is behind the brand. Even if you just think about it from your own perspective, who you chose as a coach, like, why did you choose that person? And I know for me, it's relatability. Can I sit and listen to this person talk? Because you might have two coaches and what they're two business strategists, and what they're saying makes sense, right? They know their stuff, but this person over here, I chose to purchase her package because of, X, Y, and Z. I like the way she delivers her information,
Right.
Or I like the fact that, she's real, So it's all about being visible and actually showing up as your authentic self. So what I want to kind of know, what I want to end on is, Kiva, I know you do a show and a podcast. So that is a way that you were able to, be steadily visible, right? You are, you have something built in. People know you, they know your show, they know the quality that you bring, right? So that's one way. And you mentioned about holding yourself accountable. Now my son is starting to scream in the background. So if everyone else could just share, how do you hold yourself accountable, or do you also have a show? And I know you probably mentioned it in the beginning, but just let us know again, how do you ensure that you stay visible? And then I'll share as well. And then if there's anything else you kind of want to, piggyback on, feel free to do that as well.
This is me, Jacqueline. I have as I kind of mentioned before, a vlog, and it's inspirational. It's called Raindrops Live, and Rain is RAIGN, because I am a ordained elder as well. So all those things kind of all dovetail into mindset and growing and leading and prospering, which is the name of my business. But I'm also starting a podcast in the next few weeks called the Leadership Lounge with B. Jacqueline. And so how I keep myself accountable is I have become more consistent, because I have not always been consistent in planning out a calendar, and I have accountability partner who keeps me accountable. And that's how I have to have someone to say, Jacqueline, cut off the sports channel and have you done your stuff? Because I can get diverted very quickly. So that's how I keep myself accountable, by having an accountability partner who is very good at keeping me accountable. She's not like, oh, girl, it's okay. She's very strategic about, no, get up and do this and let me see it when you've done it. So that's been key for me.
Wow. I like that. Let me see it when you're done. Okay.
Yes. Well,
What about
well, actually,
you, Dr. Sylvia?
yes, it's Dr. Sylvia. Well, I have, of course, my brand is Call to Inspire. I have the Call to Inspire radio show, Call to Inspire with Dr. Sylvia, which airs every Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. 92.3 FM. Is based in Houston. And they also broadcast it live via Facebook and YouTube. Have a Call to Inspire TV show on the Daily Gospel Network, and it airs every Tuesday night, 2 o'clock a.m. or Tuesday morning, 2 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And then also have the Call to Inspire talk show with 3 other dynamic co-hosts as well. It airs every other Tuesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And one of the other things that I do every month, I hold either panels or conferences for men, women, and youth. And I'm getting ready up in October 5th to 7th. I'm holding the Call to Inspire International Virtual Summit for men and women. We have about 100 speakers from around the world. So that's 2 of the ways I keep myself accountable. I'm also very blessed to have an amazing team as well.
Yes, I remember reading something about the conference in October, and I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be awesome. And so you have quite a bit of things going on there. Okay, I've definitely been seeing all the postings of the top 25. So I knew you had launched the digital magazine, and
right. Actually,
I knew you had a show.
Right, I forgot. Yes, the magazine. It will actually be launched. The magazine will actually be launching this fall. And of course, Call to Inspire. We're recognizing the top 25 most inspiring men and women as well as authors to watch. That's something we're looking for, authors to feature as well.
That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Ms. Fucina?
Hi. Well, to keep myself accountable, I'm like the first speaker. I can't remember. I think it's Jacqueline. I hope I got it correctly. I have to have an accountability person, because I'm like her. I'll get easily distracted. And they're like, listen, you need to start posting. You need to start scheduling. And one of the things that I'm doing this August 11th will mark my second year of doing Chronicles. So I'm going into my 3rd year to doing the internet radio show. One of the things I devoted myself to is make sure I'm scheduling early. Taking that accountability, and then having people like, okay, I need you to get me your show script to me so I can edit this and we can get ready to post it. So I'm definitely grateful for it. Just like she said about having an accountability person or persons, as the other young lady said as well. I'm doing that because I air every Sunday at 9:30 p.m. And after 9:30 p.m., it's for an hour. I'm usually pooped because now I'm a single mother as well. But keeping accountability and having the audience keep me accountable too, because I have people who are just been a blessing to me that says, hey, what are you going to talk about next week? Or what are you going to talk about this week? And now people, the doors have been opening since, going and being a power up speaker and also meeting beautiful young ladies like yourself and some of the other ladies on the panel as well, it's holding me even more accountable. And I'm really big about that because there are times when I don't want to do it. And there are times when, I'm just going to have to do a rebroadcast because I have to be realistic with myself and my health as well. But I would just say that, doing the show every Sunday at 9:30, and then we started a book club on top of that. So doing that on top of that and having those accountability people is really, really important. And just staying accountable for myself as well, wanting to do better and wanting more, because in order to achieve more, you got to do more.
Absolutely. You know what? I wanted to add this piece. So we're talking about being visible. And one of the big ways that one of the major shifts that I've done is I've always gone on different, podcasts and summits, right? But that's a big one in terms of actually participating in large scale summits. Like that's been something that I've been doing it all along, but now I'm doing it with more intention and more regularly. And I have found that I have been able to really increase my visibility that way, because you have to look at when you go on someone else's platform, you are going before not only that individual's audience, but all of the other individuals that are on that platform speaking with you. You're going before everyone's audience, right? So that's one way to really increase your visibility, and also being able to network. Like I think I met all of you. Let me see. Fuchina, I know we met on someone else's platform, right?
Yes.
I think the same. Well, Dr. Sylvia and Jacqueline. I think I met you two from going on I think maybe through Kern or someone else's platform. So it's something to be said about that increased visibility. And like I said, it's not just, yes, it's about gaining clients and more exposure, but just I have been able to network with so many awesome women. I mean, like when I participated with Kern's platform or either Dr. Nikita Davis, I have met so many women. I mean, so many other entrepreneurs that are just out there just doing it. I mean, shows, podcasts, summits, magazines, So it's just it's ladies, I'm telling you, for those of you, and I want to acknowledge you, Miss Randy and Shirley. I hope you guys can hear us okay. But thank you so much for joining. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, that will catch the replay. But visibility. And it's not enough just to, just say you're going to do it, So if you are an introvert, or you find yourself, maybe I do it later, maybe I do it another time, or I don't look my best, whatever, right? All of the excuses that we throw out there. Get yourself an accountability partner. If you can do it on your own, plan it. I'm more of a planner. Like I'll plan out when I'm going to, do everything, and that works for me. So if that works for you, plan it. If you need an accountability partner, do that. But make sure that you are showing up consistently, with intention, and authentically, right, in your business. And you will begin to see a lot of traction just with that. That's why I wanted to do this particular show, because I know how important it is to be visible. Because if people don't know who you are, or people don't know what you have, and that's another thing too. Don't be afraid to let people know what offers you have, what they can take advantage of. And we're getting ready to let you know that before we close, because I have a couple of things coming up, and it's an awesome way to be more visible. I do quarterly symposiums, so if you want to speak, on the platform, it's there for you. It's an excellent opportunity. So that's one way to be more visible. Or myself, as well as the other young ladies here, have magazines and podcasts and live shows. Reach out, connect. So definitely, please, if you take away one thing, be more visible and be intentional with it. So that's what I have to say in closing. So you ladies want to, and let me just say this again. I'm Jacqueline Kabay Harrison. This is every Sunday at 3 p.m. So if you're interested in being a guest on the show, let me know. And let's go from there. So everyone, in closing, ladies, go ahead and let the audience know again where they can find you. And if you have any closing thoughts in reference to visibility and profitability, please go ahead and share that with us. So I guess if we can start with Fucina, then Dr. Sylvia Keever, and then Jacqueline.
Okay, I would have to say one of the things I would leave people with, people sometimes we get afraid and sometimes we have fear. Do it anyway. If you're so scared, do it scared, and don't worry about it because experience is life's best teacher. You make mistakes, you learn from it, and you just learn not to do that one and do it again. So I would just say consistency is the key to breakthrough, and do it in fear. My name is Fucina Kirkendall. I'm the CEO of Chronicles of a Favorite Woman. I have a podcast or internet radio show that's aired on Blog Talk Radio every Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. You can reach me at coafwoman@gmail.com, or you can go to my personal Facebook account at Fucina Kirkendall, and it Fouchina, and last name is Kirkendall.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would just say if you have. Yes, I would just say to those of you that are listening, if you have not been visible, now is the time you must start to be visible. Remember, it doesn't matter when you do your first Facebook Live, if you have 2 viewers or if you have 200, be consistent. Do not stop because you have only 5 viewers. I've had events. I had an event once where I booked it for 100 people. Nobody showed up, but the very next day I received the biggest contract of my entire life. So just show up, do it with integrity and do it with consistency, and God will bless. I have some events coming up. The major event that I have coming up again, October 5th through 7th, is the Call to Inspire International Virtual Summit. We are now booking speakers. The website will be up this week. However, speakers are already registering for this event. You can reach out to me on social media, Facebook, Dr. Sylvia A. Cole, Instagram, Dr. Sylvia Inspires. Send me a message and I will respond. Remember, be visible.
If I had to leave any final words, the 2 ladies that just went before me summed it right up perfectly. Jump scared, jump. Whether you feel as if you are prepared, you're under-prepared, doesn't matter. Take that leap of faith and move forward. Don't sit stagnant. Put yourself out there, because people will not get an opportunity to learn anything about you if you do not put yourself out there and make yourself visible and make yourself to be pretty much approachable. So people can learn your brand and patronize you. You can definitely reach me on Linktree. You can learn everything you want to know about me on Linktree. You can find me at linktr.ee/Keever Murdaugh. That's K-E-E, B as in Victor, E-R, M-U-R-D as in David, A-U-G-H. You can learn about my multiple businesses, my boutique. We are having our fall festival in October. We are looking for vendors. This will be a live event. And I hadn't mentioned it earlier, but we're also launching the Lead Experience and the Lead Her Experience, where we will have live as well as virtual speaking engagements coming up very soon. So definitely follow me on Linktree and on all social media at Kiva Lernice Murdaugh, Lernice. It has been an honor sitting and speaking with all of you ladies, and I hope that we can connect further post this show. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
And real quickly, because I think we're almost out of time. B. Jacqueline Jeter. I have on Tuesday mornings at 7 a.m. or maybe it's noon, depending on technology. I have his Raindrops or Raindrops Live. It is an inspirational vlog, and that is on my page on the group His Raindrops. I also have an upcoming podcast that's launching called The Leadership Lounge. And so you can follow me there. You can follow me best by linking with me on B. Jacqueline Jeter, either on Facebook or Instagram, or Grow, Lead, and Prosper on Facebook or Instagram. And if you want to be on the podcast is upcoming, email me or inbox me. You can email me at Jacqueline@Grow, Lead, and Prosper. And there are a couple other things that are in the works. I can't really tell you what they are right now as of yet, but follow me and you'll be able to see the announcements when those drop as well.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for coming on today. It's been wonderful. I enjoyed you. Thanks for dropping all the knowledge and the jewels and gems and so forth. Again, we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. I am Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and you have joined us for A Queens Roundtable Show. Meet us here again this upcoming Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone. Take care.